Hello, it's me, and I'm working on a project right now that I've been meaning to do for quite some time. And I am going to be telling you about what that is. So let's flip this around. Okay, so this is a bathroom wall in my bathroom, and you can kind of see that there is around this whole thing this I don't even know what it is. I guess it's fiberglass, some type of fiberglass covering. And then you have the concrete backer in here as well. And this particular wall shares on the other side is an exterior wall. So you see it's like plastic. And I tried to cover it up with wallpaper, but that ended up being only a temporary band-aid because this room is just way too small and it doesn't have enough ventilation. It gets way too, the moisture just comes in, and it started just peeling almost immediately. And so I needed to take down this particular wall because what happens in the winter and in the summer in extreme temperatures is this starts to bend. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm going to put additional insulation in the wall and just leave it as a wall and not leave it as this horrible coating. It's very difficult to put anything into the wall. It's difficult to get off. It's just thick and horrible, and it bends. So I had a picture hanging right here, and then in the summer it bends out, it curves out. So basically the picture is hanging there, but you can just tell that it's I don't know, it's just horrible. And on this side in particular, when I moved in, there were holes already in the wall, in this horrible stuff. I tried to cover it up with caulk, and that didn't work. So it's just, I would love to be able in this bathroom, I would love to be able to expand. So this basically is a laundry hamper. I mean, this is what it is. It is a laundry hamper, but on this side is the hot water heater, okay? So you can see where this stops, where the wall stops, and where I need the water heater space. But then you can see on this side that the wall extends beyond that. So this right here is the water heater. And then this is just a bunch of space that I could really use for additional space, but I can't because I don't know how I would even, it's not, I get why they did it, but it's annoying. And what they should have done is put the toilet closer to the bathroom or to the bathtub, and then made a longer countertop, which I would really love to do, but now that would be digging into concrete, and I don't really want to do all that. Although I would love to move the light to the middle and make this whole thing a mirror so it didn't feel so cramped right here. And then you have space right here. I don't know. They did not think about this bathroom very much. That used to be a window. Obviously, that was used for ventilation, I would assume, at some point. But I had to cover it up because it was so cold in here, and it was so creepy to take a shower next to a window. It was so weird. So this is what I'm working on right now. It's just taking all this off and then just putting more insulation in and replacing it with just some mold resistant and mold free drywall, and then covering up with primer for the bathroom, and then painting it over with black paint. I like the bathroom being black. I think for some reason it works in here. You can kind of see it doesn't, and then I need to finish off this tile. This is one of the reasons why the tile on this side did not get finished off, because it's literally right next to this. So if I were to move this over a little bit, it would be a lot easier, and I can way easier move that than move the toilet. So, but for the time being, it's just replacing the drywall, which I have. It's not going to take me that long. The replacing of the drywall is not going to take me that long, but actually you know, putting a compound over it and all that stuff. I mean, this took me about 10 minutes to knock through all this, because now I know kind of what I'm doing, because I had to do that with that. So anyway, that's what I'm working on today. So super fun. Well, I got this horrible stuff off, and as you can see, I had to take off the trim to the top of the bathroom. And I'll tell you this, when I redid this, I knew in my mind that I should have just extended the whole thing and done the whole wall. I knew that I should have. But I was so frustrated with trying to get this stuff done that I just did not want to do it. I mean, honestly, working in this bathroom is incredibly frustrating. It's tiny. And at the time I had no shower. Now I can stop right now doing this for today and come back to it tomorrow when I'm not as frustrated. I've only been in here for about 45 minutes now, but as you can see, I did lose some of my tile, which is fine. I can redo that. I have plenty of extra tile and plenty of extra grout. So that part, it doesn't bother me. I can go back and refinish that. I should have just done it the first time. And I've learned my lesson the hard way with projects in this house, trying to, you know, like shortcut it and do things that I knew that I should have done better, but I was just trying to get finished. And so this is going to be one of them. The challenge is going to be, now I will say that this particular material is like plastic. It's very, very difficult to puncture this. Okay. So like you have to really jab it with a crowbar or something to get it to break. And then it's not easy to like break in specific areas. Whereas this is much easier to just, like, I could puncture holes in this and take this out a lot easier than I can this stuff. But I did lose the, crown molding, and I lost the baseboards. I was able to just remove them, and I'll be able to put them back, so that's no problem. It'll actually make my job a whole lot easier. Again, that's something that I should have done the first time around, is take it all down and then just put it all back up. But you know, you think in your mind you're just trying to get through something, and you just really try to rush through it, and you don't really see like what it's going to cost you later if you're trying to do it again. So here we are. So what I'll probably do is, I don't know, I might just take a break for right now, go do something else. And then when I feel a little bit less hot and frustrated, I'll come back in here and try it again. Because I can just keep cleaning up, and it really doesn't make much difference. I can still use this shower, and I can still take a shower in here, even with this wall a total disaster. And I'll get this wall finished by the end of the weekend, so I'm not really worried about it at this point. And Avery's not here, so but I do have the puppy, so it's just a matter of making sure that I keep this place cleaned up for her sake. So anyway, that's where we're at. Okay, so I got all of the drywall taken off the wall, and now I'm working on getting insulation in. I'm just basically, there's nothing wrong with the insulation that's already there. They've obviously done something in this house as far as insulation goes in here, because it's not in bad shape. There's not mold in it or anything like that. It just needs more, because this is an exterior wall. So basically I'm just double insulating this particular wall in the hopes that in the summer, and because we do get direct light onto this wall on the outside, and I think that's where a lot of our problems come in the summer. So anyway, so now on to the next thing, and that is making sure, kind of figuring out how I'm going to put the drywall in. So part of the issue with me doing a lot of this work for myself is that I'm a person that's just doing it alone. And so whether I'm a woman or man, it doesn't really matter. This drywall, some of this stuff is really heavy. And that was my biggest issue with the bathroom whenever I was doing that, is that I was using concrete backer. And concrete backer is very, very heavy and it's difficult to cut. And so even though it comes in 3 by 5 inch sheets, which would have been perfectly sized for the bathroom and I could have just put them all up, I didn't have the manpower with me to be able to have somebody hold it while I was trying to put it up. It's just too heavy. So I had to cut it into smaller pieces and put it up that way. And so this is the issue with this, although this drywall is not nearly as heavy as concrete backer. It is too large. So concrete backer comes in 5 by 3 inch pieces. Drywall comes in either 4 by 8 or 4 by 12, at least the one that I'm using. So it's 4 by 8 is the one that I had to use because I don't have anything in here that's 12 inches, but I also don't have anything that's 8. So basically from this end right here of the tile to the door, it was like 7 feet and I don't know, I think 7 feet and 7 inches or something like that. And I'm sorry, that's not true. That's 4 by 4. So 4 feet by 4 inches. And then the height, because this house was built in the 40s, they're not completely 8-inch walls. I mean, 8 feet tall ceilings. It's like 7 by 9 or something like that. So that makes it kind of difficult because everything in this house, from doors to windows, it is not standard. Like everything is specific to this particular house. So that's kind of annoying. So basically, but the benefit is that there's tons of wood. So I have lots of things that I can screw drywall onto, which is awesome. So this is just one large piece. The other issue is that I have a RAV4. I don't have a truck. So trying to get a piece of drywall into my car was impossible. So I had to cut it down while I was at Home Depot. I ended up cutting it in half, and even that was not big enough. So I had to cut it down. So I could fit this one piece in there when I cut it in half, which is fine. So I could put this up and I could screw this on, but then I had to cut everything else down smaller. So that is just part of kind of an annoying thing about trying to do some of this stuff on your own. But the hard part is getting it all taken out, and I did that today. So that's a good sign. So once I get the drywall up, which won't take me very long at all, then I'm going to start the process of putting joint compound on the wall. So the other issue that I'm facing is all of this fiberglass. Well, this still has wallpaper on it, but all this fiberglass is in really great shape. So I don't have to take that off. That's fine. I can leave this exactly on. But you'll notice it doesn't have any texture. It's all just flat. So there's no wall texture or anything on it. So I'm not going to be able to put what typically goes on a wall unless I want to do the whole thing, and I really don't want to do that. So we're going to see how this is all going to work. I need to get some tea because I haven't had anything to drink. But so we're going to see how the joint compound works, and I put it on. Hopefully I've learned enough to be able to put it on real smooth. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to paint it black, because I can put some texture in the paint, but I don't know enough to put texture on the wall. So we'll see how that works. Okay, so here I am trying to drywall everything. So I had to cut basically this whole trim off the side. This one ended up being okay for the most part. The only issue is, and again, this is the problem with how I did things. Y'all like my pencil? When I did all the tile work, it was thicker back here because there was 2 layers. There was a fiberglass and a drywall layer. So now that it's laying flat the way that it's actually supposed to be, it's got a space. I don't really know what I'm going to do about that, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe the answer is to put some type of trim on the side, which I'm sure I'll probably find something. But yeah. So, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna have to cut a thin piece right here to go on this side. So it's been challenging, but I'm trying not to get frustrated. It's not perfect. I need to sand this down, and then I need to do some joint compound and all that stuff. So what I did was, and I learned this lesson the hard way with the shower. So like when you are trying to put up drywall, you see that there's, like all your studs go around the side. Well, what you really want is, in order for them to lay evenly down, you want them to be able to be screwed around the outside so that they lay flat and that they lay flush against each other. And I didn't really think about that whenever I did my shower. So the problem was that I was like, you had pieces that couldn't be flattened because there was nothing to screw them into. Oh, and I decided to take this down. I took down this medicine cabinet, which I hate. You see how it, like, this one light is like right up against the shower. And so this is the other trim that I'm going to be fixing. So part of the problem was everything was right up against this shower and the sink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that in. And then I'm going to put this mirror there. And then if I can, I'll move the light over to the middle. And that might not be a project that I can do right now. That might take me taking down that whole wall at some point and just moving everything over. And that's not something I can do right now because I've got people coming over tomorrow and I just don't have the time. And it's a bigger project that I want to take on, but I can easily fill in that hole and then hang a mirror that's going to allow us to not have to be right up on the shower curtain to be able to see anything. It drives me crazy. So that mirror will it fits perfectly right here. It's going to look really good. And so if I had it my way, honestly, like I would probably extend this over, give enough space to kind of get this on and off if I needed to, but then have a little bit of additional counter space on the top. I don't know, that might be something I do in the future as well. Right now, I'm just trying to get the problem solved and get it kind of done. Really the easier, well, I don't want to say the easier way. The more expensive way would have been to just hire a contractor and have them do the entire bathroom at once. But that would have cost me a lot more money that I didn't want to spend. So this is do it yourself. So, and it'll look fine when it's done. It'll look good. Nobody will know except for me how challenging it was. It'll look fine. I'm going to start priming today and painting. This part right here is not going to take hardly any time. I mean, I just need to prime it and then just paint it. But this side, I just need to sand it down and put up some joint compound. And then I can go ahead and prime it and paint it, and then it'll be done. I'm painting it black because I really think this room looks better black. I think it's so small that white shows every single spot, and it just drives me crazy. So I'm going to paint it black, and black is a little bit more forgiving of a color. And it doesn't make this room feel smaller. It actually makes it feel bigger, if you can imagine, because it's just such a small and tight space. So anyway, there I am. Okay, so I put up my drywall and I jointed all of the seams in my drywall. So that's great. But what I am going to have to do is texture this wall, which is something I've never really done before. But I just watched a YouTube video on it because y'all know how I am about that kind of thing. And seems pretty easy, actually. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But it helps take care of the imperfections in the wall, which is exactly why they do it. And, it's like stuff like that. It seems so obvious, but it's not really that obvious. And so, I think I'm starting to understand also why they put up all this fiberglass, because all you had to do was put over the top of the sheeting. You didn't have to do anything else to it. You didn't have to paint it. You didn't have to prime it and do all this stuff. You just put it up and it was done. And so, but it's also ugly, and it's it's a solution, but it's also very aesthetically unpleasing. It's not attractive at all. You can't really do anything in it. So I get the solution to the problem, but it's not the best. So what I'm going to have to do is take my joint compound and make some wall texture out of it. I'm just going to do a very simple, I'm going to go get a roller that's kind of a rough roller, and then just roll it and just let it be that way. And I'm going to do it around the whole bathroom. So I'm going to do it on all these walls, I think, because it'll just make it look uniform. And I'm going to have to prime the whole thing anyway. I was painting and priming the whole thing anyway, so it shouldn't be hard. And I'll also do, the next section I'll do is showing you how to mix joint compound, and which is, again, a lot simpler than people even realize. If I'd have known how easy it was, I would never, I mean, you buy caulk, spackle for certain things, but like the bigger projects that I've done in my life, that really should have taken joint compound and not spackle. I struggled a lot with doing things the hard way. So along those same lines, the spacing in between here, I think, is going to be very easily solved with just adding more joint compound and just making it thicker through here. And then, the texture will add some thickness to it as well. So I really don't think that's actually going to be that difficult of a problem. And then I am going to repaint all these ceiling tiles. Now I could replace these pretty easily because you can buy them at Home Depot. And actually I can have, that's one of the things our maintenance crew will do, is come do that if there's something wrong with the ones that are in it. But then I don't know. I just feel like it's easier to paint instead of taking everything down, because I really don't know how to do that, and it's just a project I really don't know how to do. But I need to get rid of all this black, because again, you see all that black, and it goes around the whole thing. That was I'm so exhausted. I've been working on this house for a stupid month, and I'm ready to move in already, so I didn't tape it up as I should have, and it's just left there this whole time. And it's just been something I've needed to fix and just have not fixed. So I will fix that today because I have all the stuff and I might as well. So, yeah. So I will actually show me actually doing it so that you can see what that looks like. Enjoy. So the thing about joint compound is that you can't be too eager with it because it will splash everywhere, and I don't want to be splashed because I'm not really wearing pants or boots that I really want to get dirty, which is terrible for, they're already dirty, but I just don't want to get like tons of stuff on. I really should get like coveralls or something with the amount of projects that I do. So basically, this is a little bit too watery, so I'm going to add a little bit more joint compound because it's just a little too watery. So it's kind of like making cake batter. That's a good speed. Mixing nicely. It can't be too thin or else it's not going to stick. And what we need it to do is stick onto the wall, but also stick in a pattern that's going to allow us to texture. So it needs to be thin enough to spread with the roller, but be thick enough to actually stick. Kind of like meringue. You want it to be. You want meringue to be, thick, sturdy enough to where it'll hold crests or whatever the peaks, I think they're called. But not so thin that it won't hold that. And that's basically the same idea. So I think this is going to work. So we're just going to let this mix for a while to get rid of all the lumps. Okay. So I think this is going to be good right here. It's still runny enough, but it's not thick enough. So it's still runny. That's what we want to see. So after I mix the joint compound, this is why you make sure you have all the stuff that you need, which I thought that I did, but I did not. After I mixed all the joint compound, I go in there to use the foam roller, and lo and behold, I don't have a barrel on the end of my paint roller, which I thought that I did. I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So now, like, I have to hurry to see if I can make it to Ace Hardware to get a barrel before I just ruined an entire bucket full of joint compound. And of course there's a train and I'm sitting here and it's very frustrating. So this is part of the problem with not double checking before you do things. So here we are. So I finished the wall. I kind of stopped recording because I looked horrible. And so I was in a hurry. I was in a really big hurry and just needed to finish. So you can see there's Audrey, my Audrey Hepburn picture, which I love. But anyway, you can see the wall and you can see in here that I have texture on the wall. It's an actual drywall. I actually installed this and the screw went right in and I used an anchor and it was great, which I could not have done with that other. So that's wonderful. There's a lot that I did not get to finish before I had people over. The trim, all that stuff. There's a lot in here that just details that needs to be filled in. Like you can see a lot of this stuff, but that's okay. I can do that pretty easily, and just kind of finish it off. The next thing that I'm gonna have to do is do the tile work and finish all the way to the bottom, and then finish off the trim, which I did find some trim at Home Depot that'll work perfectly for the edge of that, so that works well. So here's another thing that I did. I updated the mirror. So you can kind of see right there, I got a new mirror in here. And then I actually put one of these back here. I need to secure this to the wall, and then I'm gonna add some decorations and things. And then I have my, I don't sing in the shower, I perform sign. But I did that with Velcro, the Velcro, command strips or whatever. So I wouldn't have to worry about that. So this is it's getting better. The bathroom is getting better. Let me see if I can get a shot of it. So I can't tell you how much of an improvement that this is from where I started. There's a lot that needs to be, not a lot, but just some that needs to be updated. But I just love where it's come, So there we go.